I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Beyond ATC connected.
I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another The Glide Slope live stream. Today is, as you saw, a special day because I'll be debuting yet another airport. First of all, welcome Andrew, Drexy, and Dinesh. Welcome to this flight. So we'll be taking our trusted Fenix A321 CEO. So this is the classic engine option A321, and we're taking this baby to Porto out of Amsterdam. So we're expecting mild weather, but we still may get some weather, and when I say some weather, is nothing to write home about, but still we need to be careful with icing conditions and possibly some rain, not sure. METARs are not calling for rain, but you know, these things change, and they definitely can change over time. So without further ado, let's go into the tarmac, and actually let's go into the cockpit, not the tarmac, sorry about that. And look who's here, Betsy is with us today. Hello Betsy, say hi to the fine people. You know, Andrew called, asked me for your phone number. Should I give him your phone number? Yeah, she said yes, Andrew. I'll give you her phone number. Anyway, we got our flight today from Amsterdam to Porto ready to be loaded in. Let's set up our aircraft by turning on the batteries, and we'll be performing our normal checklists. So as we turn on the batteries, we are also going to send ground control for the recorder, as well as provide our oxygen supply, which should be right here on these masks. So I don't usually touch these on Airbuses because they're not part of the normal checklists, abbreviated checklists, but still it's nice to see that we do have this available. Now let's turn on the external power, And our iPad is charging, and we can now load in our passengers. We will always start by boarding only, instant refuel, and let's do it. So now that jetway is already connected, boarding has been requested. So let's go with the pre-flight checklist for now while we are loading the packs. Give me a second here. Cockpit pre-flight checklist. Parking brake is set to on. Let's move this. Parking brake, the door is open by the way, so we will be seeing the passengers being seated. So smoke detection fault. This is always happening. It's been like that for some time when we start the plane. This should fade away after a moment. So parking brake is on. Flaps are up. Spoilers retracted and disarmed. Weather radar is off. So system, this switch here should be on the up position, and the predictive wind shear set to off. Engine master switch is both on. Engine mode selector set norm. Thrust levers on idle as they should. Gear is down, and wipers are both off. We're not expecting rain just now. The skies look a little darkish, but not enough to rain, I suppose. Let's start with the cockpit preparation now. Cockpit preparation checklist. Battery 1 and 2 set up, on, and external power is on. Accumulator brake pressure, let's check it out. We got accumulation. That's enough to grant us parking brake if needed. Cockpit lights as required, so we'll be setting this up for overhead, as well as little flood in integrated lights and a little flood here. Alright, nice, good enough. Instrument display brightness, let's keep it in the middle. It's fine for now. APU fire test, so cover your ears. Let's go for the APU fire test. Bottle, discharge bottle, and push button. We got master warning, ECAM fire, APU fire that is, and auto warning. APU fire test complete. Cruise supply is set on. Cockpit voice recorder, I don't recall if this one works. Depends, some aircraft it does, the CVR works, some others it doesn't work. Let's see, we should hear a tone in the headsets. There it is, tone, it works. ADIRS, set nav 1, 2, now there's a fault, and 3. So these faults should, it's like the system is performing a self-test. It goes on battery for a moment, and these faults will come up, and it takes a moment for them to clear because the engine is performing a self-test, and then everything should be clear. This is I would say more realistic than what FS Labs do, but you never know. It's not unique, Drexy. Sharklets are a standard today, but back in the day with the CEO engines, it was pretty common not to have the sharklets. It has the wingtip fences or WTFs. External lights set to wing and nav and logo 1 set. No smoking portable devices. Let's set this all up to on. Emergency lights arm. Annunciator lights, let's turn it on for testing. So we should be all clear. This is just a formality. None of these malfunction unless we set up a malfunction on it. It's just a formality. Pilots are trained to look at these lights and feel when something's not on, and but after a while in their career they kind of becomes routine. Window and probe heat, let's set to auto. AC temperatures, let's leave them in the middle. ECAM page, let's go test the batteries. So ECAM page to ELAC, both batteries, bat 1 and bat 2 are 27-28 volts. Let's turn off bat 1, off indication, and ECAM off. Let's turn it back on. on indication. There's a slight increase in voltage. It will come back down to 27, 28. The amps as well, it increased the amps and then will start slowly reducing as expected. Battery 2 set off and off. Set it back on and on. Again, a small spike in voltage as well as amps, and then it will slowly come to standards. Checked. Fuel pumps are off, so now we can perform engine 1 fire tests. Engine 1 fire tests. Both squibs on, push button. Master R warning, oral warning, ECAM, engine 1 fire, and pedestal. Checked. Let's go for engine 2. Both squibs, push button in. Master warning, ECAM status, engine 2 fire, and pedestal. We got tests concluded. Flight directors both 1 and 2 are on. Let's listen to, no, we don't need to listen anymore. Now Beyond ATC has a D80s panel, which is very handy. We no longer need to listen to the 80s. We got it right here. So QNH 1013 set and cross-checked, as well as our standby. And FE's constrain arc 10, constrain arc and not 10. I pressed the wrong button. It's this one here. Alright, so now we're going to set up the plane. So first of all, we need to request our clearance, and we're going to try that with the CPDLC system for this aircraft. So let's go to A2, AOC, ATC requests, pre-departure clearance. So first of all, we need to initialize the plane. I completely forgot, so we need to load in the initialization. Actually, it has to go back here. Let's wait for it, because it will reply here. There it is, EHAM. That's Amsterdam to Porto. We have our IRS is initializing. We can set up the flight number. We can go here to our OFP. So we got Transavia 2213, TRA 2213, so Tango Romeo Alpha 2213. We got a cost index for this flight of 5. Cost index 5 is quite normal on the Fenix aircraft for some reason. And we are expecting flight level, well, we got 2 flight levels, but we were expecting flight level 330 initially, then we'll climb for 350 as a step climb. Alright, we got this set up. Let's go back to our A2 and request our CPDLC. Sorry, wrong menu. We need to go to AOC. Actually, we can request weather for EHAM for now. We just need the METAR. Send. And now we're going to request ATC pre-departure clearance. So again, we are going from EHAM. I like saying EHAM because it sounds like a superhero or something. Lima Papa Papa Romeo. We have TRA 2213. We got 80s Zulu. That's convenient, quite the last one. And we are at gate Charlie 7. Alright, so we are on A321. I'm a little taken aback it's not filling in all this stuff for me. And we are going for EHAM as a station for the pre-departure clearance. Alright, so that should be enough. We need to send this now. I think I could have abbreviated this by going to flight initiation. Yeah, probably. Andrew, why are you guys having this like this I'm seeing that you guys have like the translation, a translation. It's auto translating what you guys are writing. It's weird. All right, let's check it out again. So I'm gonna check on Beyond ATC. Yeah, pre-departure clearance received. Just waiting for it to reply. Let me confirm that I got everything correct. So this is the center. Let's tune in ground for now. So is there any ATC? Oh, there it is. Cleared for Porto runway 36 Lima, departure via Cuda to Victor. Climb 6000, squawk 3253. Will comply. So first of all, let's fill this in. So 6,000 feet, and now squawk 3253. 3253 set. Thank you, sir. And we are going for runway 36 Lima in Amsterdam. It's one of the many runways. 36 Lima via Cuda to Victor. I tell you guys, it's so cool to have all these automations after being flying with the L1011 and having some and even a 737. I'm so used to the Airbus that that sometimes I miss it, because the automations really make our life so much easier, especially to fly solo like I do. 202 passengers loaded in. Let's go and confirm our load sheet for this flight. So we got weather data for, we'll take a look at this in a moment. Pre-departure clearance has been sent and received, the load sheet. So we have 202 plus 4, we got zero fuel weight 68.8 and takeoff weight to 78.8. Looks good. Of course, we have more stuff to see here. So there's the 26.6 on the max, zero fuel weight, cargo distribution, and we on these. Oh, hold on. Clearance confirmed. All right. So these are all important to see the cargo distribution in terms of the load sheet that we often get from the load masters, but we don't have a load master here, so we will confirm this over here in our performance mass and balance. So as long as it confirms the planned and the loaded, we're golden. So that's exactly what we got here. So let's start our APU to start our operations. 1, 2, 3. Start APU. So let's see, MCDU setup. So let's send our weights to the MCDU. Now let's go to, we are 4 minutes late apparently. Sync the load sheet, sync live weather. This is our weather. So we got 3 knots of wind, nothing fancy. It's variable, but it's 0 to 0, 3 knots. Few 44 clouds at 4,400 feet. Temperature 12, so not even in icing conditions. QNH 103 and no significant change. Let's calculate this. So we got V1 164, VR 170, and V2 170. Flaps will be 2 for takeoff. Trim set to 0.7 up. Flex the temperature is 55, and we got transition altitude at 3,000. Thrust reduction at 990 feet. We can of course change this. My current SOP stand for 1,500 feet, but we'll leave it at that. Let's not be nitpicky. And engine out 1,490 feet. So these are the flap speeds. So flaps, I usually don't spend too much time explaining this, but I'll do it now. So we got a stop margin of 556 meters. That's more than enough in this runway. We got flaps set for retraction at 161 knots, and then slats retract. So this is flaps 2 as we are set for takeoff with flaps 2, and this is slats retracting, and that's flaps 1. Not so this goes from flaps 2 to flaps 1 plus F, then slats retract at flaps 1, and then clean up at 229 knots. We will of course follow the PFD data for that. So let's send this to the MCDU, and let's just confirm what we just got. Let's go to the initialize page. Zero fuel weight 68.8, that's exactly what we saw earlier, and CG 26.6. Block fuel will be 10.3. As for performance for takeoff, we got V1 164, VR 170, V2 170, flap SEP 2 for up 0.7 trim, transition altitude 3000, and flex to temperature 55. And again, we can change the thrust reduction as we please. So let's raise these. I also like to listen to the markers. Alright, let's close the door. Passengers are not available. Not one. Well, they are there, they're just not modeled for some reason. Lock the door. We got everything set up, so let's continue our cockpit preparation. MCDU setup perform. RadNav. Let's just set these radio navigation knobs to VOR. IFR clearance has been received. IRS aligned has been aligned. You can see how far we are from our runway, so this is going to be a long taxiway. EVs navigates as required, we just did it, and squawk has been set 32523. Alright, we're good to go. Let's go for the pre-start checklist. APU start, APU master switch is set on, APU available. Let's set APU bleed. MCDU weights have been inserted, MCDU takeoff performance has been checked. We got V1 at 164, VR 170, V2's 170. APU bleed is on, external power set off. Seatbelt signs are on, and air conditioning is on. So pre-start checklist complete. Alright, so let's call it in. Let's tell our good friends down there to start prepping the plane for departure, and for that we'll just hit beacon, and that will trigger departure clearance. And there's our little pin on our hand. She's going to insert the pin. That's the steering pin.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I'm just going to set up the charts here real quick before I call ATC. So this is our departure. For now we're gonna need it. Is that our departure? I think it was. Yeah, CUDA 2 Victor, yes. Well, let's go back here to performance. So let's go here to ground. Request push and start.
Locking gear.
Transavia 2213, stiff on ground, pushback approved. Face southeast.
Southeast. So I'm not going to make this a mess. Southeast. So let's go back here to airport. So we are going to need to taxi way out there. So I would say we are probably going to need to go through here. So southeast, they said. Southeast. So northwest and west. See? They are obeying to the general orientation.
East flight 974.
So it's definitely not this one, so I'm gonna push back facing west.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Run the elapsed time, starting number 1. So the IAE engines we're flying today take some time to motor up, so it's perfectly normal for them not to immediately start up. We just need to wait for them to motor up. So I'm just concerned about the orientation here, but here comes number 1. Windows and doors are closed. All doors closed. Cockpit door closed and locked. We checked this earlier, so fuel pumps. Oops, oh, my bad. That's what. Fuels don't run on air. Engines don't run on air. Beacon is on. Steering pin has been inserted. Transponder set auto. And clock has been running. Parking brake has been turned off.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brakes are on.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
We got good engine start. Start number 2. Again, the engines will motor. It's going to take a moment for them to come to life. Yeah, Andrew has her number now. I just sent Andrew her number. She's excited. You gotta make a flight to Glasgow today. So she's probably gonna land in Porto and take a flight to Glasgow to visit. Hey, I'm happy. So I got track IR working again. Just waiting for engine 2 to come to life. There it is. And engine 2 available. We can turn off APU bleed, APU power, turn it back on, and we're good to go. Let's call it ready to taxi. Well, first of all, we need to let go of the guys downstairs.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
After engine start checklist, engine mode selector set back to norm. APU bleed and master switches are off. NTIs, it's 12 degrees, not required. After engine start checklist complete. Let's go with before taxi checklist. Auto brakes set max. Spoilers armed. Flaps set for takeoff to set flaps 2. Engine NTI is not required. Flight controls. Full deflection left. Neutral. Full deflection right. Neutral. Full pitch up.
Disconnected. Bypass being removed.
Full pitch down. Neutral. Full rudder left. Neutral. Full rudder right. Neutral. Flight controls checked. Pitch trim set 0.7 up. So let's do that. 5, 6, 7. One more. There it is. 0.7 up. I'm looking here. Oh, sorry. Where's flight controls? I was looking here. There's a pitch trim right there. Now we rudder trim. Press reset. Confirm 0. Steering pin removed. Taxi. Before taxi checklist complete. The ground guys, are they gone? Oh, let me just tune in my my track IR. So are we clear? Are they gone? Ah, that's her walking. Alright, we're good to go. Let's request taxi.
Transavia 2213, request taxi.
By the way, you can see the classic Fokker 80 or 100, sorry, on the rooftop of Schiphol. That's really cool. Cabin's ready.
Taxi to holding point Alpha Window.
Here we go. Alpha Quebec Bravo.
Bravo, Delaware, Victor,
Alpha.
Victor Sierra, Victor 4, Alpha 11, Transavia 2213.
So we are going to 36 Lima. So 36 Lima. Oh my god. So we are going through Alpha, then Quebec. Where's Quebec? Oh my god, this airport is a mess. So we're going through Alpha. This is a Granted, then Quebec.
Continue taxi. East flight 974.
Where's Quebec? We got Whiskey. We got Alpha, Bravo. Oh, hold on. This could be it. Yeah, we need to go through south. Oh my god. So Bravo, then all the way here. I'm gonna need my trusted map because I can't figure it out where it wants us to go. Alright, I'm checking here on my map. Alright, so it's the same taxi as when we came in. So we need to do something like this. We need to go down all the way here and then go up here, then through Bravo, then turn around. This is Zulu and then Victor. Zulu, then Victor, all the way to Victor Sierra. Where the heck is Victor Sierra? So, oh, right here. So Victor and then Victor 4. So, oh my god, this is going to be a mess of a taxi. But hey, it's what we got. So let's do that. So first of all, we need to turn back. Parking brake off. Taxi checklist when we turn off taxi lights. Oh, that one's taxiing back. It's pushing back. It's a Thompson or 2E flying. Alright, so now we move all the way back here because we parked to the wrong side as usual. But you guys saw I didn't have any options other than west and northwest, so neither will work for us. Alright, so we're now going down here towards Alpha. Yeah, Schiphol is a mess in terms of taxi. There are other Transavia aircraft. This particular airplane I'm flying is one of the first Airbuses flying for Transavia, if I'm not mistaken, because mostly they had 737s just like that one, but they had like this I wouldn't say codeshare, but like an Acme probably with Avion Express, which had Airbuses. So you see here, these are all 737s, and there are still plenty of 737s on the Dutch side of Transavia, because on the French side it's mostly Airbuses. And the one I'm flying right now is a CEO, and it was operated by Avion Express, so not really pure blood Transavia. There's an Air Portugal airplane there. Right there, there's a... I'm not looking at you, Betsy, don't worry. That's an Airbus A320. So the weather is holding up, which is nice. And I was predicting some icing conditions, but no, we are holding up pretty well. The only downside is that we're going to have to make this very long taxi to the active. So we are taxi checklist, so nose lights set for taxi, runway turn off lights are on, strobes are off. Hopefully you're going to need to set to auto. And takeoff config, let's just press this little button here. And no blue, nice. So I have my map on my Avion ATC app so I can see where to go, because this one is not helping. Not at all helping. But in any case, we're going to need to turn right here at Quebec. There's Quebec. I was looking for it. Lots of KLM flights as one would expect. There's some other aviation around, but mostly it's KLM. And there's KLM cargo. Don't know why these Embraers are doing what these Embraers are doing here, but they're here in the cargo. So this should be filled with cargo planes. And looks like we're gonna have yet another issue with Beyond ATC. This time I'm not gonna take chances, and I'm going to delete that plane up ahead. So we're just going to hold here, and I'm going to delete that plane up ahead. We got a feature, it's called Beyond ATC Traffic Map, and it enables us to literally delete aircraft around us, which is a blessing given that this traffic is not 100% controllable. So this plane, there's a plane up ahead, it's completely blocking, so let's remove that and we should be good to go now. No? Alright, so let's remove this one. Doesn't want to move, we move him. There he goes. So let's carry on taxiing. I know, not realistic, but come on guys, you really want to wait for traffic to despawn out of nowhere? So now we're going to turn here on Quebec. Yep, lots of Embraer on what should be cargo. Sometimes that happens when the apron is not correctly classified. It's easy to edit and just call these cargo aprons, but I'm not sure if this is what's happening right now at Amsterdam, because they have such a big issue with airplanes and parkings and traffic that maybe they adapted this area to accommodate their original fleet. Who knows? And it doesn't bother me. If it doesn't bother you guys, it won't bother me. We need to turn here. So this is Bravo. We're on a good track. So you can see where we are, where the runway starts. So it's about 2 miles away. It looks close, but it's not. 2.5 miles or something. So we're going to go above the highway here. When we landed, there was a lot of traffic, but not right now. Very few cars running on the... It's nice to see the highway here. Alright, now we need to turn left so we can catch Zulu all the way up to 36 Lima. Need to pay attention to our ground speed, because this is these are sloped and sometimes we accelerate. There's a holding point, a visual holding point for this runway, but you will see that this is only for Cat 2 conditions. You can see it that even though it's a visual holding point, it's only when there's low visibility. You can see the lights floating in the air, by the way. That's not good. That's sometimes generated by the FS scenery itself. And I'm pretty sure I deleted Amsterdam scenery, default scenery, but maybe I didn't. Alright, now up ahead we need to go all the way up, so all the other planes are taking a shortcut there, but that's their prerogative. I'm not going to do that. So, very high speed here, turning.
ALM 27 kilo, taxi to stand Charlie 12 via 04, Alpha 4, Elgin. Taxi to stand Charlie 12 via
You can see that Transavia there making a shortcut. That's their problem. I'm going to follow what ATC told me. Proper ATC management will never allow that, so they will always give you the same routes for every plane. But I can see from planes behind me that that's not going to happen. And that one there is going to take off against the wind, or not against the wind, but in favor of a wind, which is a big no-no. Then again, we're not. This is 36 center, and we're going to 36 left, so doesn't matter. Actually, it's going for the wind. Sorry, it's going against the wind. Yeah, so it's correctly taking off. It's just using. I was thinking the opposite end. So good thing I'm not there. I'll be full to take off in the wrong direction. Very long taxiways, and I'm exceeding. I mean, I'm at 30 knots. It's a big no-no. Planes don't get to taxi this fast. But yeah, for the sake of my viewers, not waiting for me to taxi all the way. Hello, let me put this up so I don't steer out. So Sworn, yes, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Blathering Human, yes, of course I have a simulation set up. It's not fancy. I don't create like a home cockpit. I have my side stick, my throttle system. I'm running the Thrustmaster Airbus side stick and thrust system. Nothing fancy. It's just enough to get me by. I also have the TPM pedals, and when I'm not flying this particular Airbus, when I'm flying every other plane, I also have the Thrustmaster Warthog, which I prefer. Is a much heavier stick that I really enjoy using. Oh, there it goes, accelerating like crazy. The engines are on idle, but actually it's not really on idle. Now it's on idle. But still, at very low thrust, it tends to accelerate like crazy. Alright, so we're almost there. You can see the plane taking off in the distance. That's our runway. So we're going for Zulu 4. Actually Victor 4. For Alpha 11 holding point, runway 36 Lima. So as we are in a remote area of the airport, I'm going to switch on my radar. Also going to switch on, well, we don't have terrain here, but usually I do this. I switch on terrain data on the co-pilots. But this is a very low, actually we are below ground, so we are negative. You can see neg right here, and on your upper screen you probably have my negative altitude, about 1 foot negative, because we're below the water level. We're below sea level. And And that's exactly correct for Schiphol. Alright, so now there's a funky mesh up ahead. So we are supposed to take this weird left-hand turn up ahead, but we are going all the way. Instead of turning right here and then go all the way up, we're gonna go up front and make a turn, because it's preferable. So you see there's a tight turn there, very tight turn. We're just going up ahead and turn instead of doing that very tight turn. Besides, I think this is a holding point, and we don't need holding points. There are no planes up ahead. There's a secondary tower right here. See, Schiphol is so far, so big of an area that it has multiple radar stations. That's one up there with the little tower. Not sure if that's a manned tower. Probably is. Some airports have more than one tower, especially in the US. And you see here the curve is much more acceptable than having to make that tight turn there. Just checking if someone's coming. Alright, and that's our holding point for runway 36 Romeo. Sorry, Lima. And we got there. So we're gonna hold up ahead. We're gonna be sent off to the tower. Eventually. Actually, this is not our holding point, but that's our holding point back there. So I'm gonna make a U-turn here, just because Beyond ATC doesn't accept. So this is Victor 3. We need to go to Victor 4. It's my bad. I thought I could do this, but I forgot. So I need to go over there. Just a little extra time in taxi. So the problem, why did I just try to take off there? Because Beyond ATC doesn't accept holding points. It didn't assign us for. So if I wanted to go through that holding point, I could have gone to frequency and tell ATC to take Victor 3 instead of Victor 4, but Beyond ATC doesn't jive with that. So it told me 1014 said, there it is.
Contact tower 11.105. Transavia 2213.
Alright, well now we're going to the tower. Let me just set 1014 set. Alright, let's set up the plane for departure. Before takeoff checklist. Cabin crew will be advised. External lights set to all will be set. Nose wheel lights set for takeoff. TIs not required. PEGs not required. TCAS set TARA and above. Predictive weather radar set. Predictive wind shear set. Weather mode as required. Takeoff memo no blue. Let's line up.
Transavia 2213. Golden Shore. Runway 36 left.
Transavia 2213.
Here we go.
Schiphol Tower, wind 030 degrees, 4 knots, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 36 left. Clear for takeoff. Transavia 2212.
Let's go. Takeoff memo no blue. Before takeoff checklist is complete. No traffic left. Betsy says no traffic right. We got takeoff clearance. Let's line up. to go.
KLM 793, hold short of runway 36 left, departing traffic.
Takes a moment to spool. Let's go. Oh. Come on. Thrust set. Climb flex 55 SRS. 100. V1. Rotate. Brakes on, positive rate, gear up. Come on, what just happened there? Gear up. I need to check my buttons because I think I need to set up my sectors. Thrust set climb. Autopilot 1 set. Speed check flaps 1. Speed check flaps up. After takeoff checklist, gear is up. Spoilers disarmed, flaps retracted. Thrust set climb, autopilot as required. Runway turn off and nose wheel lights off. After takeoff checklist complete. I had to engage autopilot 1 because I'll explain what happened. I have two buttons, one for set transition altitude, set and cross-checked. Is that standard? Climb checklist, bearer reference set standard at transition set. Oops, not this. This. Climb to. No, that's not for us. Flight level 160. Got some clouds up ahead. Doesn't look good. Does look good, sorry. NTI is not required, EFI says required, weather radar set. Climb checklists above the line complete. It is lovely, look at that. For everyone that's been in Amsterdam, there's one great thing about flying at night in Amsterdam is the city view. It's really amazing. So we're following the Could 2 Victor departure, as you can see, all the way down to, actually not the last. Usually the SIDS and stars are named after the stars after the first and the SIDS after the last waypoint, but this one has an extra one called Woody. I guess they didn't want to call it Woody 2 Victor. There's an airplane right there. Yep, I can see it. Fortunately, we're climbing faster than he is, but he is probably following the same departure. Pretty close. Fortunately, again, we're flying way above it, but let's not take chances here. go outside just to confirm that, yep, we're flying above it. This is a really cool view. Passing 10,000 feet, I know for a fact because we level out. Passing 10,000 feet, climb checklist above 10,000, landing lights off, wing lights off. We'll just keep them on because it looks good. And seatbelt signs, let's set it off for now for allow the. Oh, we got a TCAS. Yep, we got a TCAS warning. We were outside, we didn't hear it, but TCAS is mandatory climb, so we'll keep on climbing. So whenever there's an altitude setup, I'm just looking for the other plane here. I can see it, but not above us. So whenever we have an altitude set up by the ATC, we are supposed to obey to the ATC, but if TCAS tells us to climb or descend, as it is right now, it's telling us to descend. Oh, there it is. The plane, the TCAS is mandatory. And as you can see, it's no longer clear of conflict. Now it's going to go back to our flight plan. We are below 1,000 feet from it. You can see it up there. If it's going to stay 1,000 feet above us, it's fine. If for some reason it stops climbing and we start overtaking it again, we're going to have another TCAS warning. Oh really, Drexy? From Manchester? Really? I didn't know that. So making our right hand turn, I'm still going to keep an eye on that plane over there, and I'm going to set it to, I believe it's already set for above, that otherwise we that's set for above. It was previously on above and I set it to below, so that's why we had a warning when it came below us. So that was quite the guess on my side by accident. Let's see if we can see it now. There it is. Man, it's looks so close, doesn't it? Anyway, last view from Amsterdam. Airport's back there. Amsterdam is a beautiful city, but in my humble opinion, it's very tourist bound. If you guys want to see a great place in the Netherlands, you should visit Rotterdam, which is not that far, about 30 minutes by train. 320. Alright, so we are out of managed climb because we were worried about that other plane. It's now at 3,000 feet or so above us, so most likely we will not have any issues with it. Although it feels like it's going to follow our same flight plan, so I hope we don't stumble upon it again. But we'll monitor, as we usually do. So this is our first climb for 330. We're going to have a step climb for 350 at Madil. So let's gonna check that out at Madil. There it is. So in about 1929 Zulu, so in about 10 minutes, less, well, 14 minutes. so we still have time to continue our climb. Then we'll request flight level 350 as our cruise. We can go outside for a moment. Hello Mircha. Bravo Papa, boa tarde. I don't understand. For me, in the chat, sometimes when you guys speak, it's translating, and it's a very poor translation. It's really bad. So here's the empty cabin. Sorry about that. It's just the way GSX these days works, or doesn't work. It is a lovely cabin though. About to cross to Belgium airspace. It's even worse. Not much better.
Flight 1061, turn right, heading 200.
Transavia 2213. Brussels Control, Transavia 2213, through flight level 244 for flight level 330.
Transavia 2213, Brussels Control, radar contact. Beeline it Alpha Juliet, contact Brussels final approach 127.575. Contact Brussels final approach 127.575.
Ironically,
Beeline it Alpha Juliet.
our top of climb will be at Medal, but that's exactly when we're going to need to request flight level 350. So we might as well just ask it now, and because we're not going to get to 330 before that, so let's just request it right now. Brussels Control, Transavia 2213, request flight level 350.
Brussels Control, ALM 31 Lima, through flight level 218 for flight level 350 direct.
Come on.
KLM 31 Lima, Brussels Control, radar contact. Transavia 2213, unable your flight is to the south and flight level 350 is an odd-numbered flight level. Please pick an even altitude.
Huh. Okay, so alright, let's get... Alright, I know. Let me speak, guy. Let's get 360.
Request flight level 360, Transavia 2213.
Transavia 2213, Roger. New cruiser altitude flight level 360.
Alright.
KLM 535, contact Paris Control 126.475. Good day. Contact Paris Control 126.475, KLM 535. Good day.
Alright, predictive to flight level 360. It's 10,000 feet above what we originally planned, but good enough for us, I suppose.
Beeline 29 Delta.
Hello, Jota. This is beyond ATC. It's AI generated, as you can see here.
Contact Paris Control 126.475. Fenix 19.
So this is not scripted. This is generated by AI.
Transavia 2213, climb to flight level 360.
So we've been cleared for flight level 360 now. So this is AI generated. So
M207 heavy.
it's
Contact London Control
not as not as accurate as FSDT can be, but it is pretty accurate in terms of navigation. It's not that good in separating traffic, but it does generate traffic. It generates according to our flight plan, and it works fine. I used to fly a lot with FSDT. I'm a FSDT veteran, by the way. I started flying with FSDT since it began, almost. Maybe not in the early couple of years, but definitely flying with FSDT along the way. And I recommend to anybody that seeks flying with realistic ATC, but FSDT and EVAL have a huge problem, just like any other community. It's only available when people are available. So that means if today I want to fly from Amsterdam to Lisbon, it's quite possible I didn't have ATC available. So I prefer to have always available system like FSDT could be if everybody was participating. But sometimes during the weekends you can get like ATC all over Europe. But sometimes, for example, like today on Monday, it's most likely not going to have any ATC, either departing or arrival. Probably on arrival in Portugal, because it's probably the center working. This plane does not have, but some planes have the stations online, and I sometimes, when I fly with them, I get to see what stations are operational. And most likely you will see stations in Germany, England, but everywhere else there's no stations available. So that's why I stopped flying FSDT, because I wanted to fly with ATC along the way. I don't like to fly like with big blanks when I need to go back to Unicom or something like that. So for me it's preferable to fly with a synthetic ATC, although of course there are issues with it. So AI will sometimes be all over the place, giving you vectors, for example, for approaches. But you get used to it, and you get used to the way that you go around the shortcomings. And I recommend either Beyond ATC or Sane Tensions. Either of them are good. I prefer Beyond ATC because I don't like the subscription plan from Sane Tensions. I don't think they need to have. I don't think they need to have such a money-grabbing system. But this is just me talking. I think they do a great job, regardless of how much you pay. I don't want to pay that much in subscription, so I purchased the Beyond ATC packages, the supporter package, and I'm very happy with it, although I feel like they could have released some updates more frequently. But this is just me wanting to see better Beyond ATC. here in French airspace, Brest control. This is my favorite camera. I hope today I managed to get that gear down just in time to watch this camera. Mirsha, my good friend, how are you? It's been a long time since we spoke. Can you guys hear me alright? Because I've been asking you guys questions and sometimes you don't answer, so tell me if you're not listening to me. If there's an issue with the audio, let me know. So, can you hear me well now? Because I think this is an audio thing. And I apologize for that. I don't think I can mess with the audio on this airplane like the audio stats, but let me check here. I noticed that this plane is a little louder when it comes to sound than other planes, but by the way, let's set this to 4 times sim rate. Let's see, fuel, controls, nothing, maintenance, no. Yeah, there's nothing for me to control the audio on this aircraft. I thought there should be, but no. So you see what happens with this plane when you compress time? It starts oscillating crazy up and down. It's the only plane that does that. Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna pass it way before it becomes a problem. See? Told ya. Let's just turn back into course.
Contact Paris Control 118.05. Have a good evening. Contact Paris Control 118.05.
So we are accelerating time, that's why it's behaving like this.
Paris Control, Transavia 2213. Good evening. Flight level 363.
Let's just resume the sim rate because it's struggling to capture altitude and direction. So this is the issue with sim rate compressing time, because some planes will not handle it that well. That's why I tend to wait for the cruise altitude and then engage it, but even this plane will struggle. These aren't designed to fly with compressed time. This is just a feature for us to abbreviate time, because you know, we can't be here like 14 hours flying to the US, something like that. So for that reason, there's time compression, and these planes are rated well for 2 times, most of them if not all, but we're always getting a little greedy by putting it at 4 times compression, and this is where the problems begin. So let's keep it at 2, twice time compression for now, and appreciate these beautiful clouds. So we're going over Paris right now. So these are the Paris city lights you can see below us. We're about 1/4 of the flight, and with time acceleration we'll get there pretty fast anyway. Well, let's try 4 times max compression. I always have that little finger there on the sim rate reset before it goes haywire. Going for Paris control now.
Center on 125.7. Transavia 2213. Paris Control, Transavia 2213.
And if there are TCAS as you saw there, so let's put this to norm. Actually, go to all. And if there are TCAS warnings, then it will be even worse. See, it's struggling to keep up, and it will go up and down, up and down, up and down. So when that happens, just press sim rate reset, let it stabilize. Yeah, that's the altitude warning. We're going below the assigned altitude by 300 feet. It's going to come back up, it's going to level itself, and then re-engage time compression. We also have a nose wind, so we are going to have a little more fuel consumed. Misha, I was asking you earlier, how are you? Because we've not talked in a long time. I was wondering if you're back into your famous traveling, and where have you gone? Alright, looks good now. Let's get back to ×2 at least for a moment, let it stabilize, and then so let me just confirm here. Alright, it did go to 360, because I was concerned it wasn't accepting it, but it did. Because I'm used to seeing the little dot there, that yellow dot like we have on speed and heading. That's for the heading managed altitude, and since I wasn't seeing that here, I was under the assumption it might not have accepted, but it did. Meanwhile, let's prepare our descent to Porto. Let's keep it at 2 times time acceleration. So we go to my flights, go to meet our arrival, and let's see here. So 1930 Zulu, so remember we are accelerating time, so this is fairly recent. We got winds at 1908 knots, 4,500 feet in visibility, and there's rain drizzle in the airport. And so we will have temperature 11, dew point 11 is definitely rating QNH 1021. So we can insert that data right now because I don't think that will change until our arrival. So we go to performance, next phase, there it is. So 1021 is our QNH, temperature 11, so above freezing altitude, so a freezing point, so that's good to know. And we're gonna have wind at 190 at 8 knots. So 190 at 8 knots. Transition altitude, flight level 045. Our approach speed is 142. Our landing speed is 137. We're gonna land, of course, flaps config 3, so that changed VLS to 143, a little faster, a little less engine required for this. So we got flaps 155 at full and slats 202 at clean at 239. So we're just gonna follow this backwards. So let's go for our approach. So we're gonna come back here to the flight plan. We're gonna select Porto, come back here to our flight plan. Are we good on the stable? Yeah, we are stable. And we're gonna scroll down, go to routing. There's some shortcuts here. We're expecting runway 17 via Asport 3 Tango. So let's go do just that. So runway 17 via Asport 3 Tango. There it is. Are there any vias? Yep, add-on, it's already set. Return, temporary insert. This of course can change, and if it does, we'll address it as we get closer. So for now, we got a company message there, probably ADC. Let's check out the received messages. Yeah, Transavia Ops, send an ADC for 10 minutes. So let's just do that just for the sake of simulation. So we're gonna go ADC delay, code delay, let's go for our Gigabit code. And it's gonna be 10 minutes as fragged. Send. Done. Let's go back here to our received messages. ADC received. Good to go. And we're good to go. So let's go back to flight plan. So we got everything prepped. That's our ETP right there, equal time point. That's after Iriga, which I believe it's in the coast of Spain, or prior to the coast of Spain, better said. So somewhere over here, and the Gulf of Biscaya. But for now, we are crossing France. chase plane. Because I had a complaint, and a very acceptable complaint. I'm not saying that I'm doing this because people are upset or anything of the sort. But they do say that the cinematics mode is too fast. So currently you can see that it's set for 15 seconds. I'm going to set it a little higher, maybe 25 seconds, 30 seconds, because people do complain that the camera changing is a bit too fast. So hopefully this will be better for the cinematic cameras. This is Bordeaux, yeah, beneath us, right here. That's Bordeaux, right there. There's a very cool airport here where Dassault builds their Falcon aircraft. I believe that's the one right there. Right there. I've been there. I actually visited the Dassault factory. So from the outside, I didn't get inside because you know, it's not really open to the public like that. But I did walk around in the outside, and it's pretty cool. Nantes is, well, we can go to the map instead of guessing. So this is where we are right now. That's Bordeaux. So yeah, you're right, it's not. So that's, what's that? LFRS. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can see where we are. So that's I don't know why it doesn't have. That's Nantes, you're right. And that's Saint-Nazaire there, yeah. I've been in this airport, Nantes Atlantique, and I've been to Bordeaux as well. There's a direct flight from Nantes to Bordeaux, and I needed to take that flight back to Lisbon. Where is Bordeaux? So there it is. So I was in Marignac, that's the airport right there. So yeah, so looking outside, that's where? That's Nantes, and Bordeaux is somewhere over there, down in the coastline, further down the coastline. We can see here. Yeah, so we can't even see it from here, but it's somewhere in that vicinity over there. Maybe that's the, no, yeah, I think that's Bordeaux right there, probably, either there or there. But yeah, that we just crossed was Nantes, you're right. I didn't fly it at night, so I couldn't tell, but yeah. So I flew to Nantes, there was an event here that I needed to attend, and then we flew down here to Bordeaux on a regional flight from Air France, and then from Bordeaux to Lisbon I flew in their very early ERJ 145, so Embraer 145, very old aircraft too. Yeah, that's Saint-Nazaire there, that's Nantes. And now we are entering the infamous Gulf of Biscaya. And it's not long now, guys. I need to remember to reset my sim rate. Sorry, maintenance. Let's just keep it at 2 times for now. So yeah. flights to Bordeaux because it serves the western coast, and it's a very populated airport. Really, it was really busy, the Bordeaux airport. Besides the, of course, the Dassault factory there, but yeah, pretty good connection to Bordeaux. Really? EasyJet is the main airline? Really? That's weird. Most people will say it should be Air France, right? But I guess, look at that, pitch black outside. I think that's, no, that's the reflection. I was going to say that's the moon rising, but that's actually, it would make sense to be rising from from the west, but still. No, I believe you, Drexy. I just found it weird that it is EasyJet and not Air France, or even any other French airline. Even Transavia is a French airline nowadays. It began as a Dutch airline, but now it's a twin company. One side of it is in France, the other side is in the Netherlands. I was going to say Dutchland for some reason. Definitely not Dutchland or Deutschland. Netherlands. By the way, we passed the equal time point. That means that we've passed the point of no return, so to speak. There's an airplane up ahead. You can see it in the distance. It's about, I would say, 20 nautical miles or so. Yeah. 15 nautical miles up ahead, but I think we're going to overtake it from to the left, and it's going to pass by us. No issue. A few tips when this happens is that once you see it, I'm going to bring this meme into the discussion, but it is really like that. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So if you see a plane up ahead, make sure that you keep following it, even if it's uneventful, because you know these planes can turn direction. You're always expecting these aircraft to follow a certain path, and if you're following like an high altitude jetway, I'll show you what I mean. So for example, here you have these corridors. These are specific corridors for the Gulf of Biscaya, and they have specific rules to them. The point you need to take is that sometimes you're flying airways, straight airways, and you're, for example, these lines here, you're expecting that plane up ahead to go straight to this line here. But sometimes they can be diverted for some reason, for any reason. Even within their flight plan, they might make a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn. So when you see an airplane like that, always keep an eye on it. That one's another plane there, but this one has the white light pointed towards us. That means that we're flying right on their 6 o'clock. That one is not. I will, let's see if we can perceive what direction is flying. Yeah, it's definitely flying on the opposite side to our right flank, so that's not going to be a problem. But this one, white light is pointing at us, means that we're following it. And you see now that we've crossed that other flight there. So this one is farther away. It's not even on our range here for the TCAS probably. I was fooled by that one to think that's the one. So the rule of thumb, like I said, was just keep an eye on it and never let it go from your sight. The moment you lose it, make sure you know where it went. If you can't, keep an eye out on your TCAS screen, or in this case on END. Make sure it doesn't make like a U-turn or something. It's not likely, but it could happen. And with that, we're already in the Gulf of Biscaya, coming up on the north of Galicia in Spain. And we're probably going to descend as soon as we enter Spanish airspace. Because remember, not going to Lisbon, we're going to Porto. We're going to see... All good, Andrew, thank you. You're going to see the brand new MK Studios Porto Airport V2. So it was recently released, and I couldn't help but get it, and here I am. This is a very cool airport. I've already seen it. I flew to it to see how it went, and yeah, it's really, really cool. I think you guys are going to like it. It's built with that famous MK Studios quality, so you can expect very high quality modeling. MK Studios is not really, in my opinion, it's not really known for like extensive high detail, but they do like to make things as accurate as it can be, but not overcomplicating stuff. I've always purchased their sceneries almost blindly, because I know what to expect. I know they will not like put extra polygons where there shouldn't be. They're not going to make up stuff. They are going to make it a very, very intricate and very well conceived airport with all the aprons, relevant aprons. And it's fair to say that I buy MK Studio stuff because they build Portuguese airports. So if I'm not mistaken, aside Lisbon and Porto, which are MK Studios, the ones I own, I think they also developed the Horta airport, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that Unibuilds? I don't remember. Definitely not Faro, which is a pain, because currently there's no real decent airport for Faro. But there's one. RD Presets made one, but it's a bit heavy, on the heavy side, so I hope they made a Faro airport. I hope they made Lisbon V3, because Lisbon Airport has changed quite a bit. Not sure if enough to justify a V3, but they certainly, the airport certainly has changed. And I would definitely like them to do Lajes in the Azores. You know, if they can, just build all airports in Portugal, all major airports in Portugal. So let's go to Madrid Center. That's our top of descent of up there.
Fueling 3 Romeo Bravo, descend to 6,000 feet. QNH 1018. Descend to 6,000 feet. QNH 1018. Fueling 3 Romeo Bravo.
Alright, we're waiting for our turn to speak.
Ryanair 90 Lima Echo. Descend to flight level 330. Descend to flight level 330. Ryanair 90 Lima Echo. East 3 to Porto Quebec.
It's a lot of traffic, so it takes a moment. So let's decelerate until we are sure to get our clearance.
Air Portugal 687. Radar vectors. Runway 17. Prepare ready for descent. Radar vectors.
Oh shoot. I think we're gonna get radar vectors as well for runway 17.
Francisco S. Carnero Airport landing runway
S.
17.
Carnero.
Carnero Airport landing runway 17. Airport
They could just say Porto Airport, don't need to say the airport's name.
606. Descend to flight level 325. Descend to flight level 325.
It is nice, Andrew. I like it a lot to fly in and out.
Descend to 3,100 feet. QNH 1021. Descend to 3,100 feet.
I'm gonna force this, otherwise we might stay here for a while.
Air Portugal 687. Descend to flight level 330. Descend to flight level 330. Air Portugal 687.
Alright, let us talk.
07 Hotel
Ah.
Madrid Senna. Expect 924 Charlie with the transition. Runway 32 right. Expect 924 Charlie with the transition. Runway 32 right.
We're still far away, but still I want to get that clearance as soon as we can.
Quebec Juliet. Contact press control 124.725.
Plus I want to know if we are going to get radar vectors. There's a huge cloud up ahead, don't know if you guys can see it.
Transavia 2213. Good evening. Flight level 360.
Transavia 2213. Madrid Senna. Radar contact.
Alright, now we're in their hands. No, not yet, Drexy. No need to hold. We're still far away. I just wanted to have the clearance as soon as possible, that's all. And I want to take my time reviewing the FMC, because last time, if you guys saw it, I had a last minute runway change on the 737, and although it's a different aircraft, and changing here on the Airbus usually changes everything, on the 737 the ILS frequency I had set up manually, I completely forgot that once you tune in manually, the 737 will not retune it. But above all, the course that I set up was wrong, and I had a really bad time trying to figure it out. So I decided whenever this happens, I just take my sweet time, review everything, re-review 2 times, 3 times, how many times is needed, to make sure I don't mess up like I did in the last flight. Because I'm only human after all. I really am human. But you can put your blames on me. Unlike the song. Alright, some nasty clouds up ahead, but still nothing on the radar. And I don't think we're gonna get anything on the radar. This is a limitation from Microsoft or Asobo. The tilt doesn't work. So no matter what you put here, if you put it on 0, it will only change the digits here. for tilt +1 or whatever. You can see that there's a little sticker here saying in op. That means that this knob here, the entirety of this knob doesn't work. The reason, well, Microsoft never really addressed the issue, but you cannot tilt the radar antenna on any aircraft. It just looks forward. So it means that when you're descending, when you should put your radar tilt to -3 or +3 when climbing or something like that, nothing happens because there's no tilting on the radar. Alright, we are coming up on 80 nautical miles as usual. When it reaches 40, this little concentric circle here will set our passenger seatbelt signs on to allow them to come back to the seat. About that time we should also get our landing clear or descent clearance and our approach clearance, so we're just waiting for that phase. Portugal. The accent is not there. Portugal. Portugal. The ATC sometimes also heats syllables. So for example, instead of, it did now, it said front soleil. Front soleil, by the way, is the other call sign for Transavia, the French side Transavia. But what happens sometimes, instead of saying French soleil, depends on the word, it will say French sol, like it forgets the last part of the sentence. It's really weird, but it does happen. It happened in Madeira when we flew to Madeira. Instead of saying Madeira, it said Madeira, like it forgot the last syllable. It was weird. So like I was saying, Front Soleil is the French side of Transavia. The Dutch side says Transavia. No, Drexy, it's not really it's not really Portuguese. It's weird. Portugal. Yeah, something like Porto. Something like that. Portugal. It's like the AI is learning and they inserted like a regional accent to it. It sometimes doesn't sound good, but it's a good effort. Instead of saying Lisbon, for example, it often says Lisboa. And I appreciate that because it's trying to speak Portuguese, but the ATC in real life doesn't say that. It says Lisbon, as it should. If you want to go mother language, you need to speak up and say mother language and speak Portuguese, fluent Portuguese. But you need to advise everybody what you're talking about is going to be native mother language. And it just happens very specifically for stuff that's not intended for the general traffic. Something very specific for that specific airplane that they know speaks Portuguese. They won't speak like Lisboa on the frequency. It doesn't make sense. I warned Beyond ATC guys about that, so they fixed stuff on their server side, so maybe they taught their ATC to avoid those words, or they will in the future update. Beyond ATC was updated today, so I saw a little bits of improvement in the speech, but there will always be some issue here and there. So you're seeing the no smoking indication here on the eCam. That's because the no smoking switch is on. You can set it to auto and this will unlight. It will only light up when necessary. But the idea with the no smoking sign is this is a CEO, and back then it was mandatory to have a no smoking signage. Modern day airplanes no longer have no smoking signage because it's completely forbidden to smoke on board anyway. So you don't really want it to switch off no smoking. But instead of no smoking, you have no electronic devices instead of no smoking. other planes like the 350, you also have the no walking on cabin sign. So there will be a no walking on cabin, no electronic devices, and seatbelt signs on a 350. So these are the signs of change. So when I was flying the L1011, I told you guys I flew on airplanes where people still smoked, and the L1011 that we flew from Indibuilds does have the ashtrays inbuilt on the seats. So it was frequent and normal to fly on board, except when refueling and on certain phases of flight. That's when you needed to turn on the no smoking signs. But nowadays the smoking sign stays on if it is available for the entirety of the flight. And even though it's forbidden, why do you have smoke detectors on the seat, on the toilets? Well, if you have something that is forbidden like smoking, where do you think people will try to do it anyway when you feel the urge to do it? On the toilets. So they will try to smoke in the toilets. That's the reason why they still have smoke detectors. And they will advise the cabin if there's smoke detected. So we're already in Galicia. Our feet are dry. We'll start our descent pretty soon. Let's wait and see if we do get runway. I think we are going to get ILS 17. I just need to know if we are going to follow ASPOR or if I'm going to get radar vectors. Either way, we'll get there. The north of Spain is really sparse, not very dense in population. Cities are small. Same thing happens in Portugal, and at an even smaller scale. But damn, there are so many highways. Look at that. So this is north of Spain, and up ahead is Portugal. There's that airplane we're following still. I'm still waiting for our descent clearance. If we're not given manually, we're going to request it. So less than 40 nautical miles. Let's seatbelt signs on. Let's get.
Expect Villa 3 Delta with the ruddy transition. Runway 32 right. Expect Villa 3 Delta with the ruddy transition. Runway 32 right. Transfer 4780.
Come on, give us the descent clearance. By the way, their Alpine is also EasyJet. So you got EasyJet 690 Zulu Romeo. EasyJet is usually the call sign for the British-based EasyJet. Alpine is mostly for the Austrian or Swiss-based. I think it's Austrian-based. So they are different call signs inside the same airline.
Iberia 07 Hotel Papa. Descend to flight level 240. Descend to flight level 240. Iberia 07 Hotel Parker. Iberia 07 Yankee Romeo. Madrid Center. Expect Tango 5 Charlie with the preferred transition.
Still waiting.
Runway 32 right.
Getting awfully close to our top of descent here.
Runway 32 right. Iberia 07 Yankee Romeo. KLM 41 uniform. Descend to flight level 380. Descend to flight level 380. KLM 41 uniform. Fueling 3 Tango 2 left.
I just requested ready for descent because I'm getting very close. I don't.
Runway 11. Clear it direct taxi. Cross taxi as on about 4,500 feet.
I wish I could do this on Nav Zulu.
Fueling 3 Tango 2 left.
Transavia 2213. Approaching.
Yeah, give us a lower. S. Carneiro.
Transavia 221.
We read that Sa. Francisco Sa Carneiro.
Transavia 2213, Francisco Escanero Airport landing runway 17.
Francisco Escanero Airport, landing runway 17, Transavia 2213.
Is it glitched?
Transavia 2213, descend to flight level 340.
Descend to flight level 340, Transavia 2213.
Alright, starting our descent now. The sooner I descend, the better. Even though it's below performance, I prefer to descend sooner than having some nasty surprises on the approach. So you see the little performance green ball. It means that we're descending below expected performance, but that doesn't mean we're in the wrong. It just means that we are doing things our way. And most of the times, doing it our way is better. Not all the times, but most of the times.
Runway 17, report ready for descent. Read the vectors.
So we'll make one final right turn here, and then we're probably gonna get vectors when we are getting towards the airport, which should follow more or less the this approach here. Sorry, this Passport 3 Tango should follow it very closely, but for some reason ATC sometimes ignores.
Ryanair 90 Lima Echo, contact list from Ceno 119.55.
Cena on 119.55, Ryanair 90 Lima Echo.
France Solo 4780, Villa 3 Delta with the repeat transition, runway 3 to right, report ready for descent.
Villa 3 Delta with the repeat transition, runway 3 to right, ready for descent. France Solo 4780.
France Solo 4780, descend to flight level 180.
Descend to flight level 180. France Solo 4780.
Coming up on flight level 340.
Descend to flight level 210.
Descend to flight level 210. KLM 41 uniform.
Fueling 3 Romeo Bravo 2 and H1018, expect ILSU runway 21 with the closer transition. 2 and H1018, expect ILSU runway 21 with the closer transition. Fueling 3 Romeo Bravo. Lufthansa 48 X-ray, Madrid Center, expecting up to Alpha.
Inbo P6, that's Lisbon for sure.
Expecting up to Alpha Rhythm 6 transition, runway 02. Lufthansa 48 X-ray.
So Porto is somewhere over there, under the clouds.
Descend to flight level 080.
Descend to flight level 080. France Solo 4780.
Now we're above performance, so expecting another descent
Fueling 3
clearance.
Romeo Bravo, clear direct Costa, cross Costa at or above 6,000 feet. Clear dial Zulu runway 21. Clear direct Costa, cross Costa at or above 6,000 feet. Clear dial Zulu runway 21. Fueling 3 Romeo Bravo.
Come on, get us in the lower.
Ryanair 2 Lima Foxtrot, descend to flight level 190.
Descend to flight level 190. Ryanair 2 on the Foxtrot.
Yeah, that's the reflection.
One uniform, contact Lisbon Center
This thing here is the reflection from the tiller.
On 119.55. KLM 41 uniform.
Come on, give us lower. Getting anxious here.
Descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Transavia 2213.
Ryanair 6924, radar vectors.
Let's get our speed brakes out.
Report ready for descent.
Radar vectors. Runway 17. Ready for descent. Ryanair 6924.
Ryanair 6924, Francisco Escanero landing runway 17.
Francisco S. Carneiro.
Landing on Ryanair 6924.
Iberia 07 Hotel Papa, descend to flight level 140. Descend to flight level 140. Iberia
We can actually go below that because it's going to try to establish
924, descend to flight
the
level
constraints.
330.
Descend to flight level 330. Ryanair 6924.
Simbrief 50 X-ray, contact Lisbon Center 119.
No, let's not take chances because there's so much traffic right now. I fear that we may overshoot the clearance. that will be an issue.
Repeat, ready for descent.
Radar vectors, runway 17, ready for descent, Alpine 45 Foxtrot Papa.
Alpine 45 Foxtrot Papa.
So Porto right now is somewhere over there.
Runway 17.
Francisco Escalero Airport, landing runway 17.
We're still not in Portuguese airspace. We're still in Spanish airspace.
6924. Descend to flight level 325.
Descend to flight level 325. Minus 6924.
Ryanair 6924. Turn right, heading to 40. Increase speed to 70 knots. Vectors for the approach.
Turn right, heading to 40. Increase speed to 70 knots. Ryanair 6924.
Iberia 07 Hotel Papa. Descend
By the
to
way,
flight level 100.
someone asked me on Discord about the logo light being off during flight.
Alpine 45
Nah, it's okay, Andrew. Thank you for being here.
210.
So why does Airbus, as you can see, the nav and logo lights are on one? There's two settings. Neither will turn on the logo light. Why? Why is that? Well, it's just an Airbus philosophy, really. The tail fin will only lit up when on the ground. I was never given. Yes, Direxy. I was never given an actual explanation why, but yeah, it's really crazy. But there's no logo lights in flight. But on Boeing, you can set the logo lights from gate to gate.
Expecting Bob 2 Alpha with the 6 transition. Runway 02, airport 555. Lufthansa for 8 X-ray.
So let's go here for our performance.
Runway 02. Repeat, ready for descent.
So runway, let's refresh the METAR.
Lufthansa for 8 X-ray.
Runway is wet, so I would say good medium. Runway 17, QNH 1021, so our landing weight will be
Contact Lisbon Sen 1190.55.
so we got the 68.8 and our expected fuel
Good evening. Flight level 340.
will be 3.4. Let me make this quick calculation. So 68.8 plus 3.4 equals 72.2. So that's our landing weight. Let's just say it's 72. And we're gonna set it for low brake, max reverse, manual landing, flaps 3, and auto thrust on. So we need 2,342 factored. So that's our landing requirement, 2,242. We're gonna land with 5 knots crosswind from the right with a coefficient of 2 knots nose. So looks pretty good. No major issues to be expected, but we do need that setting for flaps 3. So let's set it up here, landing flaps 3, and we go here to performance, config 3. So our landing barometric decision height. So let's go here, ILS. So it should be 351. And we are waiting for those vectors for ourselves.
Alpine 69 Zulu Romeo. Francisco Escalero Airport landing runway 17.
Francisco Escalero Airport, landing runway 17, Alpine 69 Zulu Romeo.
So I'm gonna set manual descent rate so that we can descend a little faster.
123.75, Sofia 25 Bravo, have a good evening.
Air Portugal 555. Inbound 2 Alpha with a 6 transition. Runway 02. Report ready for descent. Inbound 2 Alpha with a 6 transition. Runway 02. Ready for descent. Air Portugal 555. Air Portugal 555. Descend to flight level
for Lisbon.
Alpine 69 Zulu Romeo, descend to flight level 330.
Descend to flight level 330, Alpine 69 Zulu Romeo.
Air Portugal 555, contact Lisbon Sen 119.55. Good day. Sen 1119.55, Air Portugal 555.
Engines enter, Ryanair 440, flight level 340 there.
Ryanair 440 Lima, Madrid Senat, identified.
It's going to go below performance, desired descent performance, but it's intentional because I want to get there a little faster. Because remember, we're going to get radar vectors, we're not going to follow this path, so we might get a direct approach to the runway, or we might get a turn to the right, an earlier turn to the right. Either way, I want to be prepared. I don't want to get too high on the approach.
277 Charlie, flight level 359 there.
Ryanair 277 Charlie, Madrid send, radar contact.
Descent checklist. So MCDU landing performance has been reviewed. TCAS set below. Good call. Set. Let me confirm it's set to below. Yep. So this is above. The other one's below. Correct. Betsy, you need to help me do these things. Come on. Approach briefing. You want to hear about it, Betsy? Nah, she still got her sunglasses. Navens reviewed NTIs will probably not be required with air. Let me just confirm what the temperature is. Just refresh this.
Turn left, heading 240, maintain 250 knots, vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 240, maintain 250 knots, Transavia 2213.
Transavia 2213, turn left, heading 240, descend to flight level 066, maintain 250 knots.
Turn left, heading 240, descend to flight level 066, maintain 250 knots, Transavia 2213.
Transavia 2213, contact Lisbon Channel 119.55.
Center 119.55.
Seatbelt signs are on and EVs set to constrained.
Lisbon Center, Transavia 2213.
Descent checklist above the line complete.
Flight level 70.
Transavia 2213, Lisbon Center, identified.
Come on. Let's go for open descent. So right now we're diverting from our previous course, but we can then proceed direct to, just press this button here, dear, and select the steer point where we want to fly direct to. Probably is going to be CI, so this is the initial point for runway 17. We can select a threshold and even a radial towards it, but we'll set just a direct to that steer point CI 17.
Alpine 64 Zulu Hotel, descending via Embark to Alpha, flight level 370.
Bit concerned that we may not be able to accomplish altitude restrictions, so I'm gonna deploy my speed brake here to help it decelerate.
2213, resume normal speed.
Resume normal speed, Transavia 2213.
We're gonna keep it at 250 knots for now.
Air Portugal 555, descend to flight level 080.
Descend to flight level 080.
The only downside of descending this fast is your ears popping on the real plane. Alright, let's turn on landing system for now, so we get ready for the approach ILS 17.
Transition, runway 02. Expect impact to Alpha with the 6 transition, runway 02, Alpine 515.
By the way, GPWS flap 3, that's our inhibitor. That's because we're gonna land with flaps 3. If we don't turn that off, that on,
Headquarter approach 120.
GPWS will say too low flaps because we should land with flaps full when that's not selected. But we selected that on the FMC, on the CDU, and on the landing overhead panel. Visual? Why visual? Now let's select the ILS.
Transavia 2213, turn right, heading 250.
Turn right, heading 250. Transavia 2213.
Right, 250. I want an ILS.
KLM 41 uniform, flight level 128 with information November.
KLM 41 uniform, tower approach, QNH1021, expect a visual approach runway 17.
QNH1021, expect a visual approach runway 17, KLM 41 uniform.
Transavia 2213, request approach change.
Come on, give me ILS.
2213, Roger, say approach.
Only visual? There's an issue here. There's a problem here. There's a huge problem there. We are going to use the ILS though.
Transavia 221.
So there's a problem with the ARAC for beyond ATC. There should be an ILS approach for runway 17 available there.
Descend to 1,000 feet. Air Portugal 687.
So beyond ATC is not getting the ARAC correct, but we do have ILS approach. There it is, ILS runway 17. That's exactly what we're going to get. I don't care what they say. There's a little birdie there.
Heading 170.
Turn left, heading 170. Air Portugal 687.
So we're going to go
Portugal 687.
direct that north.
Heading 170.
Turn left, heading 170. Air Portugal 687.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
Turn left, heading 170. Air Portugal 687.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
Turn left, heading 170. Air Portugal 687.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
Turn left, heading 170. Air Portugal
Oh my god, it's
687.
stuck.
Air Portugal 687.
It's
Turn
stuck.
left, heading 170.
Turn
Ah.
left, heading 170. Air Portugal 687.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
What's the
Turn left,
frequency?
heading 170.
So it's
Air
this one. Let's go here. Let's go back to TrackCon, announce.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
Turn left, heading 170. Air Portugal 687.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
It's completely stuck. Let's wait a few seconds.
Air Portugal 687. Turn left, heading 170.
Oh no.
Left, heading 170. Air
Alright, we
Portugal
might need to jump to the
687.
tower now.
Porter Tower, Transavia 2213, visual runway 17.
Transavia 2213, Faro Tower.
We're very much above.
8 knots. Runway 17 clear to land.
Runway 17 cleared to land. Transavia 2213.
Ryanair 90 Lima Echo. Taxi to run 53 via Delta. Sierra 5.
Taxi to run 53 via Delta. Sierra 5. Ryanair 90 Lima Echo.
Let's activate our approach phase. Actually, it's already on the approach phase. Nice. We're a little bit high. We'll get there. We are using the ILS even though Beyond ATC doesn't believe it exists, but it does. Let's activate the approach. Let's get a little lower than that. We're exceeding our speed here, but it's for a good cause. Set local altitude 1021.
Parrot out, and Portugal 687, visual runway 17. And Portugal 687, parrot out, wind 180 degrees.
2,500.
Runway 17
1500 check.
Runway 17 clear to land. Air Portugal 687. Air Portugal 687. Exit next available taxiway. Exit next available taxiway. Air Portugal 687.
Still don't have flaps down or anything. We're just decelerating the plane as best as we can. Set back to manage speed. Speed. Oh my god, my bad. Come on, keep decelerating. Flaps 1. And let's gear down. Engine. No.
Portugal 687. Taxi to stand
Gear down.
30 via Delta. Bravo, Sierra 3. Taxi to stand 30 via Delta. Bravo, Sierra 3. And Portugal 687.
Oh, what's going on here? What the hell just happened? Check. Landing checklist.
Too low, terrain.
Yeah, this GPWS is too sensitive. Autopilot off.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Speed check
Too
flaps
low,
2.
Terrain. Too low, terrain.
Flaps
Too low,
3.
Terrain.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue.
Sync rate.
I know.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Reverse. Didn't arm the auto brakes. Another nasty approach.
Transavia 2213. Exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway. Transavia 2213.
And there's Porto Airport. I'm gonna set this to the side here so you guys can see better. That wasn't a great approach. Landing was so-so. After landing checklist, landing lights off, nose wheel lights set for taxi, flaps up, spoilers retracted and disarmed, radar set off, predictive wind shear set off, wing anti-ice and engine anti-ice not required, APU bleed will be set on when available. Yep, well too. Porto.
Transavia 2213. Request taxi to company gate.
Transavia 2213. Taxi to stand 33 via Delta. Bravo.
Stand 33.
Taxi to stand 33 via Delta. Bravo. Sierra 3. Transavia 2213.
Stand 33. What? There's some problem here with Porto. Stand 33. So coming up here. So the Delta, now Bravo, and Sierra 3.
All aircraft be advised
S34.
QNH1021.
There's 33. This is our gate here. So we got ASPs, not VDGS. Just need to keep that center line and check the distance to gate. Stop, right on the money. Parking brake set. Just wait for it to acknowledge. Okay. So we can set beacon off and turn off the engines. Hello, why did I lose my FMC there? Alright, here comes the gates. Alright, parking checklist. That wasn't the best of approaches of my life, so I apologize for that. I came in too hot. I wasn't expecting runway radar vectors. So parking brake set, navigate set off. I'm gonna reset the MCP here. Constrain off. Constrain off. Flight directors off. Zero, 100 and 100. Flight directors 1 and 2 off. ND arc 10 set both sides. NTI is not set up. Engine master switches off. Fuel pumps off. Beacon is off. Seatbelt signs off. External power available. APU bleed off.
Turret out. JL M41 uniform.
Transponder set off.
JLM41 uniform.
And cockpit door open.
0 degrees, 8 knots, runway 17 clear to
Now we have passengers. Alright. So welcome to Porto. This is the MK Studios Porto Airport. Let's take a look outside. So I'm gonna follow these passengers. Whoa! So let's go into the terminal. These guys are digging themselves on the ground. Oh, too good to be true. All right, let's go for the showcase camera.
KLM41 uniform. Exit left at Charlie.
Alright,
Exit left
so
to Charlie. KLM41 uniform.
this is for anybody that knows Porto Airport, this is pretty accurate. This area here, even this the waiting area, pretty cool, and you can see the planes on the gates. It's really well done. In terms of modeling, MK Studios are really on top of their game, as you can see. Some of the stuff, you know, it's completely irrelevant, like these parked cars. You'll never fly anywhere in the vicinity of that, but it's cool to see that they go to some extent to make it look as real as possible. There's of course the entrance here. There's these improvised covers for the cars. I don't remember this side, so I don't know if this is accurate. I think it is. The main roads that lead up to the departures and the arrivals, it was really good. Even the parked cars. There are no parking cars there. This is just for dropping passengers or picking up passengers. Inside the terminal, there's the Lufthansa gate, information area, I suppose. There's the check-in terminals. Really cool. It looks a little empty in terms of NPC characters. I've seen other airports that do this a little bit better. But look at this, you even have the famous relay shops and Sunglass Hut. I think there are more shops up here. There's a Burger King, if anybody's hungry. Parfois, Ale Hop. I recommend very much this francesinha. Duty Free. There are a few more shops. I mean, this is just show off. You can see these from the outside view. When you look from the gates, you can see them in the far distance. But yeah, what matters is in terms of here's my plane here, parked right next to another Transavia. Good job. So what matters is that these gates are all pretty good. The previous MK version 1 of the MK Studios Porter was also very cool, but this area here where there's these containers was a little off, very colorful and a little unrealistic. Plus there was some issues here with the parked apron equipment, so there was a lot of equipment that was standing on the way, like this tug here, for example, wouldn't be here. It would be somewhere like here, and that would interfere with GSX. You can see the level of detail on the jetways. You saw the people burying themselves inside the jetway. That's a GSX limitation. It has nothing to do with the scenery. VDGS works, of course. There's these funky looking traffic signs for the ground vehicles, which looks pretty cool. There's also, of course, the non-gated aprons for the various different types of aircraft that cannot go or wouldn't go to a gate. And then on the other side there should be the GA gates or apron or whatever you want to call it. I believe that's where the fire department is, if I'm not mistaken, on that side over there. This is the cargo terminal. There's even a football field here. It's really cool. Nice. Where's the fire department? Definitely not here. There's a little rounded, probably where engine testing should be done, but looks like it's just another place to park stuff. Where's the fire department?
Privilege 3131, ramp 43, request pushback.
It's been a while.
Privilege 3131.
There's also this other new newish terminal here.
Pushback approved. Face north.
This is for domestic flights, if I'm not mistaken, and it feeds into here where most likely there will be low cost. There's one, Ryanair.
Ryanair 6924, Pyro Tout,
yeah, looks cool. A little nav logo there with
Runway 17, clear to land. Binary 6924.
No one's in control, by the way. ATC is on strike, probably.
6924, exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available.
I think it's missing
6924.
the letters on the air side. Yeah, it's missing the airport second on the air side. You only have it on the ground side here. This should be written on the other side as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it's been a while since I flew to Porto, I don't know. Maybe it's been removed ever since. But I do remember seeing them at some point in time. Maybe they've removed it, but those letters should be on the other side, on this side. Lisbon has it, so I think Porto should have it as well. So maybe an update for the future, not sure. So yeah, welcome to Porto. The flight was uneventful, the arrival wasn't my best, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this scenery. MK Studios Porto scenery is available to buy already, and it's a great airport, as you can see, very detailed and not really that heavy compared to other airports I have. Nice frame rates. So let me just go back inside to cut out ATC. I can't go inside for some reason. Oh, because I'm in showcase camera. That's why. Now I can go back inside. Alright.
Porto Tower, right there to Lima Foxtrot. Here's your runway 17.
Alright. Again, guys, thank you all for coming. This was a nice flight, aside from the fact that the approach wasn't that good. Betsy's with us, of course. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in case you also care to donate. And I'll see you guys next time, hopefully for yet another approach that runs better than this one, for sure. So guys, thank you so much for coming again, and I'll see you next time. Andrew, Drexy, Dinesh, who else? Let me see, let me scroll up. Shota, Sworn to Port CUSA, Brav Papa, Mirsha, my good friend Mirsha, Sworn to, oh, the same guy, Blattering Human, and everyone else that was here and watched. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, see you, and bye-bye.
I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light.